Panoramic lifestyle, a vision moves in all directions.
Hello and welcome back to Dopamine, a production of Panoramic Lifestyle Imagination Network. I want to make sure I keep plugging that just because I'm super grateful for the opportunity. We are here once again with Paula Garrett. Yes. When we last left, I touched on, because my sweet tooth is utterly ridiculous. Like, my husband will let you know, I will sit there and eat a whole pint of ice cream and have no shame whatsoever. Right. So I wanted to talk to you about your cupcake company that you have, Sweet Fantasiez. So just tell us a little bit about the company and why you got into it in the first place.
Well, the name of my company is called Sweet Fantasiez, Cupcakes and More. Mm-hmm. I started out as a specialty of just cupcakes, and then my sister Monica, love her, said, you know what, TT, I think you can do this, or I think you can do that. And so I've just had people that said, you know, I want you to do this, I want you to do that. Can you do it? My big thing is, yes, I will try. Mm-hmm. Sometimes they bring me a photograph, mm-hmm. and I'll tell them, I will try and get as close to the photograph as possible, but just know that I wasn't the originator mm-hmm. of this cake, so I may not get close to that. I got started because I was diagnosed with lupus mm-hmm. in 2000, and at that time I was a single mother, mm-hmm. and the diagnosis and the prognosis wasn't positive or favorable at that time. Okay. My brother, who has now passed away, took me to the doctor, mm-hmm. and when we got there, that's when I got the news, mm-hmm. and they told me that I should go home and start preparing my children for death and dying.
Oh, wow.
Right. That was a big blow because I was only 32 at that diagnosis. Yeah. When I got the initial diagnosis, I was 30, mm-hmm. and I was like, no. The only thing I knew about lupus at that time was that you're going to die. Yeah. I didn't know much about it. So as my disease progressed, I became homebound a little mm-hmm. bit more. And so I wasn't able to get out and do things. I began to lose my hair because of all the medications that they were putting on. I had started to get lesions in my face. And if you don't know, HIV also has lesions. So people were looking at me like I was mm-hmm. kind of crazy, mm-hmm. but I wasn't. It had to do with all the type of medications. I had shoe boxes full of medications that I needed to take. Okay. So in order for me to do something and feel like I could contribute to my family, I started baking. Mm-hmm. I knew that baking and cooking was a part of my heritage because we're from the dirty South, as they call it. So we cook and bake everything, peach cobblers, red velvet, mm-hmm. pound cake. You know, we do all of that stuff. But mm-hmm. I started baking. And so what I ended up doing was I got a little bit better, and I took a class at Joanne Fabrics. Okay. And which I had no idea they even offered. Right. Wilton. That's how long ago it was. It was a Wilton class, and I took 1 and 2. And it taught me how to bake, mm-hmm. Use piping bags, all this kind of stuff, and do decorations and things. And so that led me to this. I would bake for my nieces and nephews. I would bake for my children. I would mm-hmm. just go in there and create whatever I thought tasted good, you know? Yeah. We did an ice cream cake that had Twix and caramel and chocolate and all kinds of stuff with ice cream and stuff. Yeah, it was really good, and that's my son's favorite cake to this day. But anyway, mm-hmm. that's what got me there. And then it helped me to release some energy, some frustration, and some anger. Mm-hmm. Because I was like, wow, God, I've been doing everything that you asked me to do. Mm-hmm. I go to church, I sing in the choir, I'm mm-hmm. on the praise team. And you allow this to happen to me. Mm-hmm. I'm training my kids the way that you want me to in church, in fear of God, and you give me this incurable disease. It's not curable, but you can maintain it with diet, exercise, and stress, maintaining your stress level low. Mm-hmm. Over the course of the years, I've probably had every surgery that you can think of. I've had pleurisy. I've had all kinds of things that go on. But Sweet Fantasiez was my outlet until I decided to start working out because my doctor kept saying, you have to get this off. You have to get this off. And by steroid use, which was prednisone, which was the medication of choice at that time, mm-hmm. It makes you gain weight. Okay. It swells you up, and then it solidifies your fat a little bit. So it's harder for you to lose weight. Okay. But they want you to stay active, so they want you to do things. And I was like in so much pain. Mm-hmm. I'm taking pain medication, which then takes the pain away, but it also puts you out to sleep. It makes you tired. So where are you going to get energy to work out?
That's what I was going to say, because I know that you mm-hmm. started off by saying that you were home-ridden. So what activity did they want you to do? Just to do home exercises?
They wanted me to get out and start walking. What happened was one of the doctors that I was seeing at U of M, which I really, really liked him a lot. Mm-hmm. He said, I told him that the prognosis and the diagnosis that they gave me. And I said, I have 3 young children. I don't want to die. I said, help me get better so I can take care of my kids. And I prayed to God. I was like, God, help me get better. At least get me well enough so I can start working and be active with my kids again. And so at that point, he heard me. And we started working and started doing better. Got back to work, and then my brother passed, and then things just kind of went downhill. But the lupus was the biggest thing that that has been in my life, that has been triggering my ups and downs with the weight loss journey and stuff like that, and eating and being active. And so that lupus has been one of my focus, but I've always maintained my relationship with God.
Okay.
And I realized that my father had told me that this is not for me. And I was thinking, what do you mean this isn't for me? If this ain't for me, then you come get this lupus, because this ain't nothing I want to deal with. If it ain't for me, give it to somebody else. But over the course of time and really listening to him and the scriptures that he was giving to me, it's a testimony for somebody else, that they can see that you have lupus and you still trust God, you still love God. I still sing at church. I'm in the praise team, the choir, when I'm active and can. I work out now, and I'm still living my life. I travel, see my kids, my grandkids. So, you know, it's I'm maintaining it.
Okay.
And I'm living and I'm enjoying life. And so when God says it's time, then I know it's time, and he's going to come take me. So I need to enjoy life and love life for the time that I have.
I love that attitude that you have. Seriously. Like, honestly, when I wanted to plug your cupcake company, I didn't even know that that was the reason why you got into it. So it just shows how people have their different outlets. You know, they have different things that people may just, you know, dismiss and think, oh, this is a hobby. But this is something that truly saved your life in a sense, where it got you up, you know, got you up and it triggered you. Yeah, exactly. I want to once again go ahead and plug it and say it's Sweet Fantasy.
Yes, it is.
Just, I know for the breast cancer fundraiser you brought in, because I could only say briefly, I was so upset when I saw that cake that you brought in. And you brought in cupcakes. I'm like, no.
Yeah. It was
So you have been sharing your gift with people in the fitness community, just bringing in different treats and everything. So is that something that's still a little bit therapeutic for you in a sense?
It is therapeutic. There was a time when I was baking for a foster care. And so I always thought, my father said, I need to give back. You always need to give back. And he was always big on youth. And he was a pastor that go in and visit the prisons for probably 30 years or more. And so I felt like some of the youth and some of the foster cares, I wanted to do something special for them. So I would anonymously find out information about them and then bake a cake geared to what they wanted or they liked.
Okay.
Because sometimes they don't get that.
Yes.
And something made specifically for them with their interest or taste in mind.
Makes all the difference.
Yes, and so it was really fun. So I did that, and I didn't really want them to know who I was. I just wanted them to know that they got a cake made just for them. And so in the end, I ended up knowing them, and they ended up meeting me. And that was a really good feeling, because I was able to touch someone else with what I did. I didn't charge for it. It wasn't a big deal. I didn't care about that. It was being able to touch somebody else with something that I love to do.
Well, sometimes with the value that you put on things, it's not always monetary.
Right.
You know, like if you just really looked at that person, you can tell that they were grateful for what you did for them. And then being the recipient of it, that probably just made all the world a difference. Seriously.
Yeah. So doing the breast cancer thing, it was really nice to be able to donate cupcakes to a good cause.
Oh, I saw the pictures, and they were tearing that stuff up. I was so jealous. So what we're going to do, I want to go ahead and just take a break, because when we come back, I actually want to, the whole theme that I wanted is to show how wellness and fitness gets you through life challenges, and what you touched on a little bit with being diagnosed with lupus, and how the first thing to trigger that was just you being able to get out of bed and do the cupcakes and everything. I want you to just go ahead and just talk a little bit about your fitness journey, how it relates to it, how it has been balanced, if there have been any challenges with that. I know you touched on it briefly, but I really want people to know a little bit more about it and to get to know you in that sense. So maybe if they're going through the same thing, you know, any challenge, that they can use the same, you know, methods. Okay, so we'll be right back, and thank you again.